Nurses, we just want to thank you for everything you do. We are ShiftKey.com. Log on today and connect to open PRN shifts in your area. Work when you want, where you want. You can even get paid next day. ShiftKey.com. Start today.
Fortunately for them, their DJ neighbour, Matt Burgess, couldn't sleep.
My night, Jared Walsh, lovely bloke. He's been around for ages.
Oh, mate.
Cheers. I love him. He's a great guy.
And world tennis number 3, Andy Martin's had to, Andy Murray even.
We are back for another week. Thank you to Con and Lena at the Brighton Trophy Centre, Lee, Shifty Lizard and the Odd Sock Mob. Jared, welcome to you.
Something always happens on my walk to Ozcast Network.
Always.
I'll tell you after we say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to Andy Martin.
Howdy ho, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome. It's great to be here. It's a big round as well. It's a very big round. Last round was a little bit condensed because we had places to go. Matty's actually changed his pants to be recording today. So stand up and show Andy. He's got shorts on.
Oh, the old scrotum is hanging out the side there.
So something always happens. I went to a place to pick up some coffee pods. I don't want to say what name of the business, but, you know, the place that sells the coffee pods and
Love
the machines.
Nespresso.
Yeah. And, so, you know, at the end of buying some Nespresso pods, the people behind the counter say, would you like a coffee? So you and I used to always go there, pretend to buy pods so we could have a free coffee.
Yeah, that was before Hello Sunny moved into Adelaide and we didn't want to pay for coffee. So we'd go to Nespresso every day.
Oh, no, do you guys price match? We'll have the free coffee. But anyway, I was waiting for my free coffee because Matt said, do you want to hang out beforehand? So yeah, a little bit early. That's great.
Yeah.
So I'm standing at the back of Nespresso where they give you the coffee and you can have anything takeaway. And this bloke comes next to me and he's treating the coffee machine like it is a vintage car yard. And he's saying to the guy, while I'm waiting for my coffee, and I'm not usually like impatient, but he's like, oh, mate, what sort of motor's in this one? Yes, sir, this is the Nespresso 4000. The milk comes out and the coffee at the same time. He's like, oh, great. So what sort of rotation on that motor? And I'm just like, give me my bloody coffee. So I got a little bit nervous. And I started to sweat. And at that point, I thought, okay.
It's 16 degrees today as well. So
waiting for my coffee. And next to Nespresso in Adelaide, there's a Chemist Warehouse. I'm like, okay, so I need to go in there and buy deodorant. Because I thought I smelt a little bit musky. But the thing is, when you go into a shop like that and buy one item, it's like going to the servo just to buy toilet paper. Because the person behind the counter knows that you're about to do a shit. So you have to buy two things. So I buy the deodorant spray. She obviously knows that I stink. Why else am I buying it? Or someone goes into Coles and they just buy, can I have some dingers, thanks. You know they're there for one thing only.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say two things off the back of that. Remember, we would always go in a Chemist Warehouse or another place, and I'd always be at the counter, and then you hear in the background, you got those dingers there, Andy? And it's Jared. And then also there's a thing that we do where, which, you know, try to give each other sort of something to do at the counter, you know, a bit of a dare every time.
Yeah.
And when you say thanks a lot, you say it that quick, it comes out thanks slut. So you say thanks slut, and you just head off. And they usually stand there going, oh, my God. What did you say? What you said?
We walk out holding hands going, hey, oh.
Every day was an adventure when we'd head to Rundle Mall. It was amazing.
Yeah, we have a huge round coming up. Maddie, can you take us through some of the highlights of this round? We've kind of planned it. I mean, this is a severely unedited podcast, so we just kind of wing it and see what happens.
We wing it. We've got a few...
we're winging.
We've got a bit of a blueprint of what we're going to go through, but we tend to go off on tangents, which sort of makes us in a way. So, but you've come to the party with some news of
Got some news of a brand new sponsor, boys, which I think is great. We have some really fantastic people that make the choice of listening to this podcast, and we are very grateful. And a man who's been with us from day one. This is actually the guy that said the highlight of the podcast has been since Andy joined.
Sounds like a great guy. Do you know what? All the feedback I get is about Andy.
I know.
And that's great.
I know. Let's check in with Andy. He's still going on from his story from last week.
And then I was heaps hungover.
So this is
and then I shared Garby's podcast.
This is for Steve. Steve Frasca. Now, Steve runs a business called Mind in Movement, and we all know that we feel better when we move. So an injury can be really difficult to deal with, not just physically, but mentally. And I think it's a really important time in 2020 where everybody's losing their jobs. Everybody's kind of reassessing where they are to make sure physically you're okay, but your headspace is okay as well. And I'm speaking from experience. I've had some physical injuries this year in my leg, but then the great thing that Steve does is he takes you through the mental side of things, and we'll actually just go, how you going, mate? Like,
Yeah.
He's helped me do things like I never used to take rest days from the gym, and he's like, mate, don't put pressure on yourself. Go walk the dog or go to the beach or something, and he's brilliant. So I wanted to read out a little bit about his business. I think it's important because he's investing in us by listening to us and sharing some great vibes about Andy.
Yeah.
So let's read about him. The philosophy of Mind in Movement Physio is designed to put you in the center of your treatment journey and to give you back control. So together we go through and highlight how to maximize your movement and function while stimulating your body to adapt and heal through active treatment and education. You got the info there, don't you, Andy?
Yeah, it's
you
all about
continue.
Yeah, it's all about highlighting what your body can do, whilst implementing mindset changes and increasing your knowledge around training with an injury, which is very good for me.
It is very good for you because you've basically got a sore back from carrying this podcast, apparently, according to Steve.
Yep. And all listeners of the Best Team Men podcast will receive 10% off of their initial consults. So book online through Mind Movement Physio. Mind in Movement Physio. I haven't read it yet.
Okay, so it's
Mind in Movement Physio.
We'll put his phone number up there as well if we want.
040.
Okay. But you know what's really funny about Steve is when I first met him, so he works for the Port Adelaide Hockey Club and I play for Grange, so we're fierce rivals. And I said to one of the players at Port Hockey Club who I work with at some events, I said, mate, the physio is awesome. He said, yeah, Steve the Pirate. I'm like, oh, so why do you call him Steve the Pirate? He's like, that's his nickname. So for a couple of months I was calling him Steve the Pirate until we had a consult and he sat me down and was like, mate, why are you calling me Steve the Pirate?
Oh, so he didn't know that.
That's
was
your nickname, isn't it? He said, no. So I got stitched up and I've been calling him Steve the Pirate.
Yeah,
for
he's
so
saying
long.
it on air as well.
I have. So go and see him. He's brilliant. He's a huge ice hockey fan as well.
Okay.
So thank you. We'll read some ads over the next couple of rounds. 10% off. I highly recommend you go and see him. And thank you for listening to the podcast.
Because you guys are fierce rivals, does he ever jam his finger in more than he's usually going to jam a finger in? You're back?
No, but I did have a really weird circumstance where I hurt my back the other week and I was sweaty AF. And
sweating a lot lately.
Yeah,
aren't you?
I got out of the sauna because there was a sauna and he's like, mate, just get on the bench and I'll have a look at your back. And I've got off and it's like there was a swimming pool turned into the massage table because it was disgusting. You had to sanitize it. So thank you. We'll thank our other sponsors a little bit later as well. Let's get into some juicy stuff, boys. What have you been up to, Matty?
Well, it's funny that you say that you called him Steve the Pirate and he was unaware of that was his name and stuff like that. So I had a bit of an issue during the week. My street has a Facebook page, which is kind of like a neighbourhood watch sort of thing.
Oh, these are like neighbours.
No.
Bloody Ramsey Street.
I'm a fan of Matt Street. Which, do we say your street name?
No, we don't. So
all the fan mail you're going to get.
We'll find you.
Come on. No, so we've got and it's run by a lady named Karen. Now, I think obviously in the last sort of couple of months, the whole nickname and stigma of Karen has been, pretty big.
Do you know any Karens apart from Karen?
No, I don't. But she sums up that stigma absolutely perfectly. Now,
you said her first and surname on the podcast.
That's right.
Wow.
All right,
okay.
I'm going to sit back and enjoy this.
I'm sure she doesn't listen. Anyway, what I was getting at is we had a post on there from a person that I didn't recognise, and it was just going through the details of something that she wanted to say, and then I was like, who is this person? And then she put in the comments, this is me, Karen, by the way. I've changed my name on Facebook so that people don't think I'm a Karen. And her new name is
awesome.
Finger.
No, that sounds like an OnlyFans account.
I haven't met her husband, Arse Naldo.
I have, and he's very mean.
So her name is Karen, and she changed it on Facebook because she didn't want to be known as a Karen, and she's the biggest Karen I've ever met.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
And she has a meerkat flipping the bird as her profile. Oh, man. How do you deal with people like that? Like, I'm finding now I'm looking after a lot of the social media of Best Team Men. We can get to it.
Can we just say your Twitter work has been ferocious the last couple of
we'll
weeks?
get to that a bit later. But the Karen whole phenomenon is a little bit weird. We spoke about the people in Bunnings a couple of weeks ago. It's a bit strange. They're unique human beings, aren't they?
Absolutely,
They
they
have
are.
too much time on their hands.
Yeah, way too
I think
much.
there's like underground tunnels in Victoria.
Yeah, and they're always driving a dark red Mazda with a scarf. What? Don't you ever notice that?
No.
Most of the Karens I see on the road are all driving these.
Where's the scarf? Like on the dash?
No, around the neck. You know, like they work in the office.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
they're
I'm with you.
You know, they're
Yeah.
in the back end of the office somewhere in some ordinary job.
Yeah.
And they're just hating life and they just troll and change their name to Wilma.
Yeah, and put a bloody meerkat up there. I wonder how you find that. Like, you type into Google Images, can we please have a meerkat flipping the bird? And we'll see what
Make it my profile picture.
Yeah. We have heaps of other things coming up on this episode or this round today. We have an update on the Port Pirates. The Skeff and his crew are doing something special this weekend. I need to... I don't know. I need to think about if I'm going to do this or not. I'm going to expose one of Adelaide's nicest people as probably not what his perception is.
Can we do that now?
Yeah.
You're going to do it now?
Yeah, I want to do it
Yeah,
now.
just get right into it.
Yeah. Set
There's
us
a
up.
lot of other stuff I've brought to the
I
table
know,
today
yeah.
about
This
dogs
is the most
and-
intriguing.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, but then you need to soften after this and play some funny radio audio that we found.
Or I could talk about some sort of hangover incident for myself.
Okay, so we've got a lot
Same
to
one
come
from
up.
last week.
And anyway, so then
So I was at the Goodie Park.
I actually had feedback about your drunk voice, and someone said, "Mate, his drunk voice is very good." It's
Oh,
very-"
really?
They laughed a lot at it.
oh well. Might do some
Because he was actually drunk.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to talk to you about boundary riding at the AFL.
Okay.
So normally the role of a boundary rider is AFL's football, Andy.
Oh,
so
sorry,
yeah,
Women's
Dustin
hockey?
Fletcher
No.
played that one. No, no.
Did he?
So,
Oh, wow.
So to do boundary riding at the AFL, you sit basically on the boundary line or the seat just which is separated the fence of the field, and you'll report back to the commentary team about weather conditions, injuries, real key moments of the game. You are the person that can feel the weather conditions, and that person who's got the finger on the pulse, like a Casanova or a street team person. You go out, this is what the fans are doing. So their job is to communicate with the sound engineer or the technology person or the tech back in the commentary box. So let's say, Matt, you were the tech person, and I was the person doing the boundary riding, and I'd say, mate, do you reckon we could do a cross now?
Yep.
Can you tell the guys, like at the next break of play, it'd be really important to come down. There's an injury, or I've noticed something that I think it's really important to do that.
They're like the eyes for the commentary team that can't see down on the.
Perfect way of describing
Exactly,
it.
because they're watching the play-by-play, whereas you're right there
Yeah.
at the bench. You can see players coming on and off.
Smell
et
them,
cetera.
you can do whatever you want.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a way of communicating to your tech, because being the tech is a really thankless job. I mean, Andy, you set up all this stuff here at Ozcast. It's quite a thankless job, and these are the people that get the show on the air, control the mic volumes, control the communication. Yeah, well, there you go. See,
Thank you, Andy. We really appreciate what you do for the show.
So the volume went down then. So it brings me to what happened on the weekend. And it's really troubling, and I don't know. I've really debated whether I should say this or not, because
Just say it.
Sam Tugwell
Oh.
from Pressbox Ep, great podcast. You should have a listen to it.
All right.
So there was a game of football on over the weekend. It was Port Adelaide taking on the Sydney Swans, and I've obtained a text message exchange that Sam Tugwell had with the technology guy at the radio station he was doing the special comments for, or the boundary riding. Are you sure you want me to go into this?
Yeah, absolutely.
So he's the nicest guy in Adelaide.
Nicest guy in Adelaide.
Okay.
Nicest
Wait,
guy in Adelaide.
Tuggers
Young
or the tech?
superstar. Tuggers. And the tech. I don't want to say Lyndon's name. But so they obviously have a text message exchange as to when the cross is going to be.
Right.
And I've got the text message. This is going to do some real damage. And I want to share love, especially during this really fickle time of media where everybody's on edge, everybody's stressing out. It's a time of love. I don't think I should do it.
I think you've come this far.
Yeah, you can't
back
shut down.
out now.
Absolutely not. Do it.
Okay. Andy, I need you to play a role in this text message exchange.
Okay.
I will be Sam Tugwell,
Yep.
and you will be Lyndon.
G'day, guys. I'm Lyndon.
Now, you don't know what you're about to say, Lyndon, so I'm going to give you one word to say,
Okay.
and that word is trying.
Okay.
So when I point to you, I want you to say, kind of in a semi-frustrated way, trying. Okay?
Trying.
Yes.
Okay.
Only when I point you in.
He's in character.
I'm actually emotional about this.
You got a hanky.
I'm nervous. We need to talk about it.
Yeah, we really do, because no one's had that since the 60s.
Real men have hankies.
I've never met a real man.
I think it's been in my pocket since the 60s. Okay. Let's straighten up a bit. Come on.
Sorry.
I'm Sam Tugwell.
I'm Lyndon.
Okay, remember you have the one thing to say when I point you in.
Yep.
This is how the text message exchange went.
Sure.
I just need to count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, here we go. Cross. 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 Cross, goddammit. Cross. 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 ASAP.
Trying.
Cross back. Cross. 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 Cheers, mate. Did it sound okay?
That's intense. Oh, wow.
I'm not sure if that had any technical issues on the radio station on the weekend.
So was Sam on the ground?
Yeah, he was.
Okay, so he wasn't in the studio or anything like that?
No, he was on the
Okay.
ground aggressively messaging. And you know how I obtained this? Because I accidentally got some cross messages as well,
did ya?
because he sent them to me accidentally.
How did he send them to you?
Because we were doing a bit of back and forth about how much he's loving watching Port Adelaide play, because a team that wins is finally getting a game of footy in front of him.
So it's like full phone fumbles.
Yeah. So that's what happened.
I
And
thought he thought you were up in the box doing the stuff
Nah.
for Kojo, and you're going to go, now we're going to go across down to Tuggers.
the nicest man in Adelaide. Look, I think he's just had a weak moment.
He got angry, didn't he?
And yeah. So listen to Press Box Ep. I'm losing my voice now. Can you two please take over, Andy?
Well, I remember when I first did my training session at the old Amy Stadium.
Yeah.
And I was going to take over from old mate, what's his name?
Wayne Phillips?
Yeah, Flipper.
Yeah.
And my first introduction on screen there was to do an interview with Flipper about, the weather and stuff, because we're like, get him on the screen, get him used to the cameras, get him used to the directors in the ears and all that sort of stuff. And so me and Flipper had a conversation about the SANFL that was going on during the game and stuff like that. And my job was to do a weather update. I had no idea what the weather was doing. I literally looked out and saw some cloud, and I was like, guys, second half of the game, it's going to be sweet. I've spoken to 5AA's Rowie. He has said that there's going to be no rain for the rest of the game. It poured for the rest of the game, and I was like, well, welcome to Andy's life.
Just like a real weather reporter.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of conjecture around that, but we shouldn't back weather reporters, should we?
No, we shouldn't. But it's amazing. It's amazing the broad spectrum of people they get to do those jobs. I remember going to Amy Stadium or Footy Park when I was a lot younger and seeing this guy on the screen, and he was doing pretty much that to the crowd, and his name was Roger Rashid.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, Roger Rashid, he's probably a media personality. And then 4 or 5 years later, he's coaching Leighton Hewitt.
famous
I'm like,
tennis
what
coach.
the hell is...
What, he was a tennis player, right? Like back in the old
He's
days.
a gun, mate.
Yeah.
Gun for hire.
Jesus.
The big rash.
So, but I was... who's next? Like Todd Woodbridge or someone like that going to come and do this?
I don't know, they got Jared on.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Graham Corns actually said to me the other day, mate, you're a very good hockey player. And I said, am I? Because I played a game of hockey against Cornsey once in a celebrity hockey game at the Pines, and Cornsey walked out and flipped the bird to everyone. Jesus. That's true to his brand.
I'm glad you followed up with you actually played against him. It would have been a little bit weird if he had never have actually seen you play.
Yeah, I know,
Or
mate.
he's just out in the pines standing behind a tree just watching you play.
Scouting.
Yeah. He just comes in on a Monday, Jared, you're really good.
For literally years, like when he did this Saturday sports show, and they do an OB, so they do it from, bloody Stratco or something like that, or the Adelaide Oval. And I'd be in the studio being their guy that press all the buttons,
Yeah.
I'd be communicating to them, all that sort of stuff. swear, like they'd throw to me for crosses for SANFL scores and stuff, right? They know who I am, right? And there are a few times when he'd be on the drive show and I'd be paneling, I'd try to make it a bit more hilarious, right? Because they're two old guys talking, no one cares, and they're pretty bland. So I'd chuck, I don't know, like sound effects, what I do here, right? I'll chuck a laugh in there.
Because we're old and bland, Jared.
No, I'm just
Graham and KG have just said, I've got some sad news that so-and-so has passed away, and then Andy's in the background playing a laugh track.
Stuff like that. Anyway, there was this one time where all I was doing was playing dings and buzzers for a game show that they were doing. Like, it was literally like, their mystery voice or whatever. Yeah. And I was just like, when the call would ring through and stuff. And they stopped the show and Cornsey goes, who is that in the studio playing that?
Why are you talking like that?
Yeah. And I was like, hey, man, it's just me up here, man. And then I'm like, it's Andy. Like, and you can hear me talking to them.
Because you're not in the studio with them.
No. So they're on site doing their show.
Sorry, yeah.
And I'm in the studio pressing the buttons for them, right?
Gotcha.
And in control of the spaceship that is radio. Yeah. And I've voiced back to them in their ears going, it's Andy. You can hear it on air because you just, it's Andy. Like through because the headphones are so loud because they're deaf, right? And they're like, who is Andy? And I was like, Andy Martin. And they're like, Andy Martin? I was like, I'm on Nova. Like, I do all your OBs. Who is that? And just... Yeah, that was it.
Can we talk about Andy? Andy used to do the crosses in between AFL games and do the Sandful report. And it was great because he'd go, yeah, this is Andy. And like most of the time you'd bring your missus in there. So you guys weren't even concentrating. So you were just doing...
I had no idea what was going on.
No, he was just doing, all right, quick, what are the Sandful scores, blah, blah, blah. So one of the things that Andy needed to do was cross to Morn Team Hyundai Oval. I think it was Morn Team Oval back then, which is like where West Adelaide played. I'm pretty sure. This is years and years ago. Yeah. Andy wasn't concentrating. So instead of saying... Now, let's check the scores. West Adelaide taking on South at Morn Team Oval. And he said, all right, let's check the scores. West Adelaide playing South at Magnum Theme Oval.
Jared just walked in and would chat about stuff. And I've literally swiveled my chair and looked at my script and then read that. And I've just, because, when I do voiceovers, I don't know what I'm saying half the time. I'm just reading a script.
It was like me trying to read that website for Steve the Pirate.
Yeah, exactly.
All the words were together. I couldn't read it.
Yeah. You know how I feel. And that was the worst thing ever. But then there was another time when I was doing it, and it was like a Friday night or a Saturday night. Actually, it was Saturday afternoon. And Mark Aston was taking over from me straight after. And he would come in early and have a chat. So he came in early. About 15 minutes before the end of the footy, I get cross to do my sport update.
Yeah.
And so I started, and in the background, he's like an anchor man, the weatherman, making all those signs and gestures and stuff to try to put you off. But then he's going in the background, and I'm like, what is going on? Magnum Theme Oval. And then I've wrapped up, and I was like, what was with that? And he goes, when I used to do sport at Channel 10, on Friday nights, they'd all have drinks. So because their studio was with the offices where everyone works. They'd all be sitting there having drinks while he's trying to read the sport, and they'd all be doing that and making kookaburra noises and animal noises and
happens,
stuff.
Mate.
It's amazing.
We'll be able to tell you in a couple of weeks some more radio stories. Trust me, there'll be some more coming out.
I cannot wait for that vault to open up.
So did you have to hunt down your own scores? Or did
yeah. So,
so you were responsible for finding out the
He
scores.
was on the WNBL website, though, and saying that the Adelaide Lightning have just beaten the Bulleen Boomers when he was giving a Sandful update.
Yeah, I'd cross to the hockey in Canada. The table tennis update.
I found some old audio from Andy as well. So I've been sending Andy some stuff going through the old archives. Almost completed 54,000 emails back
nearly there.
So, yeah, everything is almost completed, my radio journey. So I've just been finding gold audio, sending them to Andy. So we were talking about saying wrong things. Andy's got history of doing that with Dr. Barry Hooper and Magnum Theme. This is, I think this is someone, a caller that rang me once on the radio.
Can I say first of all, the few shows that I've done with you guys, I've exposed a lot of my mistakes in life. I'm not normally like that if you're looking at hiring someone, okay? I'm not a drunk. I'm not bad at speaking as much as what I was. No,
you're very good.
Yeah,
Fire
thank you.
away.
All right.
So I've sent you a couple of bits of audio. If you want to play one, and then we might have time to play another one as well. So I reckon play this one here. You can make up your own mind what's going on here, Matty.
Righto. job. Of course, that was Kenny Smith. Remember him? He was the bloke from Kenny, the bloke who made a fortune out of Portaloos. Of course, his real name was Sam Jacobson, the Aussie actor.
It's not. It's Shane Jacobson.
I know that.
So he's put together, this is an old announcer on 5AA, he's put together Sam Jacobs from the Crows and Shane Jacobson. There's another one here, which is Fave Caller. So what we normally do when we do a comp spot on the radio is a lot of them are pre-recorded. So people called up and you record it, edit them up so it sounds good for radio.
So it's in between the songs or something like that.
Yeah. This kid rang me once, and you'd have this as well, mate. Sometimes the callers on the weekend are brilliant. You can't put them to air, but you go, I want to give you credit for this. So, guys, play along with this caller right here.
Hello.
Hello.
If I tell you a really funny joke, do I win anything?
You just win the hearts of every South Australian listening.
Okay, then.
Tell me the joke.
Say I.
I.
Spell map like M-A-P.
M-A-P.
Say Ness.
Ness.
And say it all at once quickly.
No, because I know what it's going to say and you're rude.
You cheeky little thing. Sorry, the kid just wanted me to say I am a penis on the radio.
When I did Sunday mornings, you get, oh, g'day, mate. Yeah, just want to put a song on if that's cool.
Yeah.
I've been up for 3 days. You're like, everything's still
It's nuts, isn't it?
I remember once you messaged me, this is years ago, and you were like, you need to listen to the next caller. And this bloke rang up and you were it went to air, I'm pretty sure, and you were like, hello, Nova. And this guy just goes, it's raining outside. And I need to find that audio. I saved it on my phone somewhere, so I'll try and find that for the next week. But the way you handled it was so funny.
We get some really interesting people calling up. It's what can you say? I'll tell you in a couple of weeks.
2 weeks ago on the countdown.
Yeah, we are counting down. Okay, so we've got plenty more to get through. Let's take a moment to talk about Con and Lena at Brighton Trophy Centre. I don't have the script, but it doesn't matter because the great thing about the sponsorship that Con and Lena have provided us is that we don't need to read a script to talk about how amazing they are. Andy, your mum got a frame from there, which is weird because it's the Brighton Trophy Centre.
Turns out it was some engraving on the frame. So if you've gone to see Con and Lena at the Brighton Trophy Centre, don't ask them to frame anything.
Yeah, right. So,
or buy milk.
What can you tell us about your experiences from there, Matty?
My experience has been great. Obviously, they've looked after us initially with the little trophy, the little engraved trophy, and then also more recently with the little medallions that they've given us as well. Con and Lena, fantastic people at the Brighton Trophy Centre. Do everything from sporting trophies to corporate deals and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and also the little name tags for the COVID.
Oh, the COVID marshals.
The COVID marshals. And some of the big marshals as well, like Stephen Marshall and Jordan Marshall and Sarah Marshall. So there's lots of...
I forgot about her.
Yeah. Give him a sound effect. So let's take this moment to thank Con and Lena, because what we normally do at the end of the round, but we're talking about the guys now, is put people's names on the plaque.
Yeah.
And for a while, I probably was guilty in thinking it was a metaphorical fake plaque that we're just saying, let's just put some names on the plaque.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I thought as well. It's just a thing.
Until this week, we get a photo from Con, which is probably the biggest plaque we have seen with name tags on there.
Yes.
And it's amazing. It is on our social media. What's our social media?
At Best Team Men on Twitter.
I think you'd actually know that, Jared. You'd be hammering away all
we
week.
can talk about that in a second.
I don't have access to it anymore. Can you please answer your own questions?
Some of the things I love about this trophy is there's a really big little engraving part for the bottom of it.
A really big little engraving part.
Yeah.
It's just a medium engraving then.
Story of my life. Which I think reserves the spot for Arsenaldo Garcia at the very bottom.
Oh, yeah.
But the great thing about the top is that Con has gone, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's about 10 in each row. Bless you. And I would think that Con has gone, you know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to make these engraving plates as straight as possible. And then in true Best Team Men fashion, he's gone, stuff it, I'll make them all crooked because they're all crooked. My OCD is just having an absolute breakdown. In the middle, Jared Walsh, Matt Burgess, Andy Martin.
To be fair, there is a lot of them on there, and it was
heaps,
he's probably had
man.
to stagger them to fit them all on. That's what I'm assuming.
He's done an amazing job.
I think it's a planned job at the moment. I think he's just planning it out, right? That's not the final thing. Oh, that's not the, that's
I'm
that's
pretty
the
sure it's
final thing.
But Con and Lena, thank you so so much. So let's put some names on there. I wanted to put two people on the one thing today, and there's a bit of a story behind it. This is to Andrea and David on social media. Andrea and David, they've got different accounts, YNWA, so that's You'll Never Walk Alone. They're huge Liverpool fans.
Or You'll Never Win Again.
Oh, Jesus. God. I mean, I don't know which one that is. I'm assuming it's Liverpool, but I don't know what to do. Thank you.
I've got nothing else apart from that.
So, Andrea actually is a really talented footballer, and I got to present her an award at the Football SA Awards last year. And David, I met a couple of weeks ago up at, near the Barossa, they've got that mini golf where the dinosaurs are.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Always see the TV ads.
Yep. I've been there.
Yeah, so I met him up there, and I don't think he thought I knew who he was, but they are just so lovely, and they listen to this podcast, which is really nice because they're supporting us, and they're big Adelaide United fans, big Liverpool fans, and we're grateful for people who listen to us. So thank you very much.
Well done.
Are you guys putting anyone on the plaque?
Yeah, I'm going to put a guy by the name of Reese Painting.
Yep.
On the plaque. On the plaque.
Painto.
On the plaque. He lives in Melbourne, actually.
Right.
So just sending out some love to him through a tough time. A couple more weeks for them to hang in there, and they'll be right soon. So he's actually my old agent / manager.
Right.
So he's a Carlton supporter. So we've had a good week together.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, I've got a friend in Melbourne called Georgette who started listening to it this week.
Really?
Yeah.
What did she like about it?
Andy.
Me. Yeah, just really supportive. So, she was actually the one of the street teamers that were working for Mix in Adelaide when I did the Dr. Barry Hooper thing.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, there you go.
We've had a lot of requests, Andy, for people who love you, which is everybody who listens to the podcast, which is really weird. They want to hear a pub story. So do you have something that you can share with us? It probably won't take 4 hours.
Well, yeah, okay, I've got a quick one.
Or just continue the one from last week.
What's your definition of a quick one?
About 4 hours.
Okay.
No, well, because I was going to actually ask you guys this about the first time you ever got feedback, and it was like not the feedback you're expecting.
Yeah, every day.
Yeah, okay, all right.
I'm married.
Well, that's it. Yeah.
Well said.
Hi to Gabs if you're listening.
She doesn't listen.
Now, the reason why I say this is from years ago. So before, I don't know what it's called now, but it was called Apple for a few years. And before that, the nightclub was called Church Nightclub.
Yeah, it's called Hacienda now, I think.
Oh, is it? Is it like some sort of like theatrical?
I stay away from
something?
those massage parlours where you get a hacienda.
Yeah. So back when I was DJing there, I was doing their Friday night 90s night.
Yeah.
And then also Saturdays, I'd make an appearance every now and then if they needed me, but from 3 a.m. till 5 a.m.
Okay.
And I'd do 2 gigs before that, before I'd get there, right? And this is back in the day where I was enjoying life and I was drinking a lot. And one of the nightclub owners in the second gig that I did from 1 till 2 a.m.
Yeah.
hated the fact that I was DJing elsewhere. So what he'd do is he'd sit out the back with me in the club and would feed me bottles of agua and anything else that he could give me to get me really hammered. Because when I DJ'd that out, I was on top of the world, right?
Yeah,
I was the greatest. I was pretty much Tiesto, right? And I was doing Jesus poses. I was wearing, like, you've seen the photos, I was wearing aviators.
Wait, did you perform at Hush?
Mate, I was Calvin Harris one week.
It turned out to be Matt Burgess.
G'day.
And so what would happen is when I was working at church from 3 till 5, I'd have an hour to get there from Hindley Street. So a lot of the time I'd have to be driven because I couldn't walk because I'd had that much booze, right? So I'd be carried into the club. I had someone carrying my gear, and then the chick that would book me would hand me a drink that I'd always request, at 2:50 in the morning, which was, and I'd get confused whenever I told her I'd drink a bourbon Coke with vodka. Oh. Yeah, I'd like stuff. So that was the traditional drink that I'd get when I would arrive there. So it was disgusting. And it would have a big rock of ice in it, like an actual, like the cold ice. And so then I'd go to the booth and I'd DJ for 2 hours, and it was the most shockingest DJ gig ever for 2 hours. The music wouldn't be mixed properly like I was.
That's like when I was DJing.
At Hush.
So this guy before the church gig would do that so that you would play shit and probably get fired.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
He's trying to sabotage you.
Yeah. He hated it, right?
I've been doing that to myself 15 years.
So I do a terrible 2-hour gig playing 90s music. It was awful, right? And then my first bit of feedback about my DJing was always really good. Like, you know, I'd get excited when I'd see people look at the set list on the wall at the club and they'd point to my name and go, yeah, we're hammering to see that guy there. But the feedback I got on church and nightclubs forum, you know, back in the day when it was like a website forum.
That's where Karen lives now.
That's where, like, you know, the first trolls, I think, started.
Yep.
They were like, who the hell is the DJ between 3 till 5? He is absolutely disgusting at DJing. And I'm like, oh, that's the only bit of feedback I've ever gotten on my DJing, and it's not that great. Better go back to weddings. And then here we are. There you go.
And when's your next wedding?
This weekend.
Fantastic.
Yeah, beautiful. Mine wasn't necessarily feedback, but one of the ego hits that I took was playing one Sunday night at the Grand.
Yep.
And where the DJ booth was down the bottom next to the stage, you were pretty accessible. So people could actually come up, talk to you, request songs.
The amount of handbags we placed behind that would be just insane.
Put their empty drinks and all that sort of stuff, ask for drink cards. You were really accessible. So I remember playing there one Sunday night, thought I was going all right. One lady walks up to me and she goes, "What time is Maddie B on?" I looked at her and I swear to God, I said, "Oh, he's not on tonight."
I got
she walked off. That's awesome.
I got similar feedback on radio once because I think I've got a pretty distinctive radio voice. Like it doesn't.
Tone.
Yeah, I think I've got a distinctive tone, and obviously I really stand out for people because I had a caller once who actually rang up, and I thought this is great. I'm making way in Adelaide. You know, you get a moment when you're young. I think you kind of think people know who you are, but you soon realise that no one does and no one cares, and this is a real example.
Yes. Hi, this is Jodie.
Hey, Jodie, how you going?
I'm good. How are you, Smallsy?
No, it's not Smallsy, it's Jared.
Oh, hi, Jared. That's hilarious.
No, it's not. It's a hung up. I don't actually want no prizes.
I reckon she was like a prize pig fiend for calling up, right?
Yeah.
For Smallsy, obviously.
We don't want to talk about her.
No.
You guys have dogs, yeah?
Yeah.
You've got a dog. Do you have a dog?
I had a dog.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
We broke up. No.
Whoa. Okay, so pet owners, I wanted to bring this up because I've had a really fascinating couple of days at home. I've got a cat which I don't like, and it's my wife's cat, so I'm waiting for that to run
Vegemite.
away. Vegemite, the worst cat in the world.
Why? What's wrong with Vegemite?
Just cat people are weird, and if you have a cat, you're a different type of person.
She had that cat when you met, right?
Yeah, so
it's
I've inherited the cat. It's my stepchild.
Yeah, so the other way around. So like you've moved into the cat's life, and you hated the fact that the cat was there first.
The cat actually looks me in the eye when it does a poo. Because it's just basically, here's what I think of you, mate.
On you.
It's horrific. But my dog Kimber is a golden retriever, and she's beautiful. She's like 11.
Have you shaved her yet?
Great question.
Okay.
It's a really good question.
Can I have a photo?
For the people who weren't listening to the last round, Matt sent me a random question and asking if I've shaved my dog recently because he's a sicko. And
Metaphor.
That's right.
yeah. I did shave the dog.
Perfect.
But not in the way that you wanted.
Oh, no.
Sometimes when you've got a cat and a dog, the dog eats the cat's shit. Okay? And this is proven by a vet saying that there's so many nutrients in the cat's shit, the dogs love it. It smells like candy to them.
Really?
So it's horrible when you want to kiss your dog on the mouth and its breath smells like this, right? So my wife at the moment is sleeping in my daughter's room and the dog's in my room. And then Kimber communicates to us and she goes, when she wants to go outside. So this is
your shit.
Yeah,
that's what she's saying.
About 8:30 the other night, I let her outside and she goes to the bathroom and I think, okay, we're all done for the night. She usually sleeps through the night. It sounds like I'm talking about my daughter, but I'm not. I'm talking about my dog. So then at 11 o'clock, I've taken a tablet as well to help me sleep, just to help relax me.
Sure.
So I was kind of not really with it, and all I hear is this. I thought, surely not. No, mate. You can wait till the morning. No, just wait for the morning. I thought, I'm not going to let you out. And then, and I've turned the light on, and Kimber is shitting all over our floorboards. No. So hopefully not eating when you're listening to this. I got to a point where I had to fold up paper towel and put it in between the floorboard cracks to get it out. That was one thing, and she obviously had an upset stomach. Maybe it's from eating all the cat shit. And dog owners will know what I'm talking about, how frustrating this is. So then you have to clean the floor, probably like spray some air freshener.
Yep.
So then the next day, I arrived home late from work. My wife was in bed, and then she said, look, I've had to leave Kimber outside because she still has some of the remains of what she left in the bedroom on her fur. And I thought, how am I going to deal with this? I can't be bothered washing her. I can't be bothered clipping her with scissors. So what did I do? I thought, what would Matt Burgess want? I went and got my shaver that I shave my head with and shaved off the bits of fur around her bottom.
Wow. So now she looks like one of those monkeys with a big red exposed ass.
She does.
A reverse mullet.
Funnily enough, the next day, I forgot that I did that and shaved my head.
She did.
Yes. So I told my wife about it. I told my wife about it. I said, hey, the dog's fine. I shaved her. And then she said, and you've also got to shave. Oh.
So do you give it a particular number, or is it just like bald shave?
No, I just shaved off the hairy parts.
The dags.
Like the dags.
Yep.
So she's going to go to a groomer this week. But I've given the groomer your number
send a
so
photo
that
through.
You can send a photo through.
Perfect.
Talk to us about social media and the multi, Matty.
Well, I haven't been able to access our social media now for a couple of weeks, thanks to you. We're unfortunately no good on the multi again, but we're going to stick with it. We're going to keep going. We're going to ride the season out.
Yep.
Potentially go through finals too. So we will hit one. I'm determined.
A Shifty Lizard voucher to give away if you get a leg correct. We also have got the Odd Sock Mob just for sharing this podcast, or what the other thing is really important is rate and review, because Andy sent us through a statistic the other night about where we're going in our new category, which is basketball, which is funny enough because we don't speak basketball.
Yeah, on the basketball charts in Australia, we've gone up 9 to 173.
Yes.
That's pretty good. I think we're growing. So if you give
How
the
many
podcast a review,
podcasts are there though?
174. I think the press boxes. No.
Oh, no, they're not in that. Do you want to play your game, your new game?
Oh, yeah.
You've got an intro for?
Andy's burning sporting issues.
All right. We've got a couple of crackers here. We've got one that's no, we'll do the sport one. I had a non-sport one, but we'll do all the sport ones. So
Sure.
The first one, A-Rod goes deep, Wang hurt.
I'd love to know how you search these, by the way.
Yeah, you must look
Private
up some
browsing,
pretty
private
ordinary things.
subcategory stuff.
I don't even search sport headlines.
Read that one out for me again.
A-Rod goes deep,
Certainly does.
Wang hurt.
Well, J-Lo would know, wouldn't she?
You would think so,
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I think it's got to do with something that happened on the training camp for the baseball team.
Well, baseball's right.
Yep.
Alex Rodriguez, J-Lo's husband.
Because he's the one that got done for like drugs or something. Is that right?
Allegedly.
Don't know.
sorry.
Don't know.
I'm not
Allegedly.
sure. I just know he signed a massive contract and owns a lot of sporting teams. But anyway, he went deep, hit a home run, and Wang was the pitcher who got hurt.
Very good.
Wow.
Yeah. You're learning a lot.
I don't want to get into sort of like...
Nope.
Okay. You knew where I was going there, right? Yeah.
Second one.
Yeah.
Fighting cocks take a beating from angry beavers.
I mean, we're not this money
Wow.
podcast. We're trying to attract new sponsors and...
I feel like it's something that happened in Thailand. Because... And it was like a Friday night, and they went out looking for some canary action.
Thank you.
And they came back with some roosters.
We're not talking about your Friday night.
Sorry, I forgot this is sporting issues.
Sporting issues.
So I thought it was just a Friday night.
Nah, so obviously there's a team called the Roosters, and they got beaten by the Beavers.
Yeah, right.
High school basketball.
I love this game.
Which country? US, I guess.
US?
Yep.
This is a bit of a doozy.
The listeners will be the judge of that.
Yeah. New
Four that we've got.
check for check.
That's great.
I actually came across a porno once
Oh, of course you did.
at a mate's place called Checks in the Mail.
That did not go where I thought it was going to go.
Look it up, guys, on Google. All right. How did anything this week, guys?
Jared's lost it. He's sweating again.
I didn't watch it, but it was on the counter, like Friday night beers at someone's house. And it was just sitting there, it was called Checks in the Mail. It was the Czechoslovakian.
I didn't
Oh,
watch
no,
it.
we get it.
Yeah.
We're pretty sure. Thanks heaps, Schindler's Fist. We don't need to go.
Anyway, I reckon we should do pretty good in the family category this week.
Actually, there was one a bit closer to home. Actually, it was true. It was on the Fox Motorsport Facebook page this week.
Oh, that's one of my favourite Facebook pages.
MotoGP star Miguel Oliveira is engaged to Andrea Pimenta. She is also his stepsister.
What?
Whoa.
And that came up in my suggested searches.
Did your mate Karen with the meerkat like that?
Hot stepsister meerkats. All right.
So there you go. That's Andy's burning sporting issues.
I love that. Are we pretty much done? I mean, it's a pity. We've always got stuff to talk about.
We do.
Let's give one more thanks to Con and Lena, the Brighton Trophy Centre, Odd Sock Mob, Shifty Lizard, and Mind and Movement Physio as well. You can go back and hear those things. We'll put the multi on social media. What are your thoughts on me on the Twitter? How do you know it's me? Because one of my favourite things to do at the moment, Andy, is find a tweet that Maddie tweets, and I will like it and comment and retweet from the best team in account, going, great tweet, Maddie. Then from my personal account, I'll be like, mate, stop retweeting your own stuff.
Great point, Matt.
Well, I mean, what you guys came across the fact that I was never following Matt until this week.
Yes, that's right.
Well, I've never been a massive Twitter user. I feel like it's something that I need to put time aside.
No, you don't need time, mate. You just need a couple of glasses of red watching the footy like I do.
Yeah, you watch the footy every night, hey?
Yeah.
Footy frenzy number 2.
Follow us on social media. We are done. Oh, Skeff.
Skeff.
Quick. Give us the Skeff details. There's a huge game this weekend for the Port Pirates.
Yep, they've got a club champion playing a milestone game, and everyone's getting around it down there. So the 5th of September, I think it's at their home ground.
Yep.
I believe.
Aren't we going to that? You're not, are you? Oh.
I thought it was next week.
Oh, yeah, no, there's one mid to late September.
Yeah, that's right.
It's September 13, I think it was.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
You say what Matt will do is say he's coming right up until that week and go, I can't say.
I can probably go to that one.
Probably.
Timestamp that. Record
probably
it.
go to that one.
Thanks for listening to the podcast. We are very grateful that you take the time to have a listen and have a laugh and give us feedback as well. We love the little comments that you give us back. Honestly, it gives us a buzz, and we didn't expect anybody to listen to us. So the fact that they do, and thanks to Ozcast as well for hosting this.
Yep.
We encourage you to inquire with Ozcast about podvertising and helping them grow their business, because they're giving us an opportunity. We want to give your businesses an opportunity. So thank you. Do you guys have anything? Was that good? This is like my farewell speech.
Yeah, you're finishing up.
Are you back next week? Or
I'm not
It's
sure.
Andy and Maddie next week, guys.
Different areas of my point.
what about best team then?
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens next week. Next week will be a really big episode.
Just playing Green Day's Time of Your Life.
Yeah. We should do a montage.
Is that song good redundant? Good riddance.
Good
Okay.
redundance.
Yeah.
See you guys.